Let's see how many checks we have. I think I'll play one more game with Tron. Still has not been treating me well. Wow. I play a lot of Mod Masters too. 21 for me at 280. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do a two-person queue. Until people show up. Oh, hi, Lee. Thank you for challenges. Yeah, I know who you are. You're still on my friend list on Moto. Yes, I still call it Moto. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if I'll actually have a chance to play in them. You know, 1 p.m. Eastern on Sundays is really awkward for me, but I'm still super excited for them. I mean, they seem great. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes from them. Top 32 deck lists sounds really sweet. I still have, I think, back from when you all first did the Pauper premiere events, I still have all those deck lists that you sent me in an Excel spreadsheet from the first 3, I think. So we're talking, gosh, 8 years ago now? We'll give it a few yeah, I know. We'll give it a few seconds, and if no one shows up, we'll just drop this and go into a league. I mean, I had established a good relationship with y'all from the Community Cup, and, yeah, worked out well. Okay, people are actually here, so you know what, let's actually go jump into, a league. So, if you've been following me, you know I've been playing a lot of Tron recently, and been doing alright with it. Overall, I have 2-3 records in the league, but 3-0 in the two-person queues, but we now have Pauper Challenges, and so I want to take a deck that I think is going to be really well positioned in the challenges once they go live, and you know what it is, it's the Monarch deck, no changes. Still really happy with it. Last time I ran in the league did really well, went 3-2. So yeah, you know what this deck does? It's an Evan Carr's Justice deck that kind of exists just to survive until it can get overwhelming card advantage from the Monarch. Has some nifty interactions. Sideboard's been adjusted a little bit. -1 Echoing Decay, +1 Nausea as another hedge against Hexproof, which has been really big in the format recently. So I'm in the collection screen. Let's jump in. So I want to know, you are all about, how many of you are thinking of playing in the challenge when it happens? And my next question is, what do you want to play? Hello! Pog D2. Make sure I pick the right deck. I always do this. It's so bad. Let's expand this a little. Hello! Just so y'all know, if you didn't watch yesterday, and I actually had to delete the stream, there was some less than savory language I didn't realize made it in at the end. And it wasn't from me even. It was from my wife when she got home. Didn't realize that the stream was still live when that happened. But had to delete it, which is fine. And I am now a Twitch affiliate, so you can hit this little button in the chat box. That's a cheer. And yeah, it's awesome. But let's talk about the challenges, because these are going to be interesting. So if Lee's still here, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they need a minimum of 8 people to fire, and they can hold a maximum of, I think I saw 675 people or something in that range. And these are going to be like the Power 9 challenge, like the Legacy challenge. Hey, Gato. And what they're going to be are Swiss events. So unlike leagues, you have to play it all in one seat. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you, Komodo Drake. And so what ends up happening is you have these large challenges, set aside time where every week, starting the 21st, it'll be a Pauper tournament, which is just something that hasn't happened since before the big crashes around, for lack of a better term, Kiblergate. And so what we're going to see, hopefully, is a slightly more granular metagame. Like, I hope we're going to see beyond the top and the next level. I hope we get to see really a lot of the decks that don't go 5-0 and maybe do go 4-0, or 4-1, or 3-2 a lot more often. Okay, it's 420 Dragon. He's almost definitely on some kind of flicker deck, which is bad news for us. So are these hands. Okay, we'll keep this one. Scry to the top, and let's see what they're doing. Okay, they started with a Crag, which is interesting. Because I usually put 420 Dragon on some sort of flicker deck, and leading with Windscarred Crag is interesting from them. So they could be on Kuldotha. Tokens, the deck that Ifro featured on Channel Fireball the other day. They might be on Boros Metalcraft, which would be a really interesting choice. Because you don't see too many Alchemist's Vials. What does this do again? Skyfisher. Target creature can't block this turn. So they're in a very aggressive version of Boros. Let's read the bones. Do not need to see more of these right now. Need to see removal, so we'll keep one. Second Magma Spray is alright. Not really what I wanted to see. I'm not under a ton of pressure. So they're almost definitely on some kind of Kuldotha deck. Yep. Yep. So let's see what happens. I need some good luck. Because this is just bad. My hand was not good to start, and it just got worse when they went. Jeez, okay. So that's not what I needed. Ah, this is not good. So, let's see. If they have rally, that's 18. I'm dead if they have rally. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. My one out is ripping a Evan Carr's Justice if they don't go for it this turn. But even then, they might have all the burn in the world in their hand, which is unfortunate for me. Okay, let's see what I can rip. Sure. Is there... No, there's nothing I can do here. They had a great draw and mine was less than good. So let's see if we can remedy this. Okay. So, Nausea's good here. Electrickery's great here. I'm not sure how I feel about Read the Bones. I mean, actually, it feels pretty good. Terminate. Prismatic Strands for sure. I'm trying to play a longer game, so Harvest seems better. Chainer's Edict seems pretty bad here. Let's see. They're largely attacking me through the air. Cleric is okay, but not as necessary. Three more cuts. I want all the removal I can. It's just that these are pretty bad. O-Ring is not bad, actually. Let's actually end up cutting a Read the Bones. Not crazy about Beetleback Chief here either. You know, let's cut Harvest. Magma Spray seems less good. Can I get another Angler in as a way to close out games? Let's cut a Signet. Yeah. Let's play first. Oh, man, this is brutal. I love this hand because this card is so good here, but I can't keep a one-lander. You know what? Sometimes variance just isn't on my side. Sure, I have to keep this. That is just brutal. Spot him. Yep. That's pretty horrific. Oh, this is just a non-game. This is honestly just awful. Like... there's really nothing I could have, like, should I have gone to 4? Maybe, but okay. Let's see if I can claw my way back into this. What'd be great here? A land. Yep. Sure. Great. Sorry this hasn't really been a game. That's kind of really annoying for me too. Okay, here comes the rout of the peasants. Sure. I mean, we both mulliganed to 5. Their hand was just significantly better than mine. I don't think going to 4 was right. I run a lot of lands in this deck, but yeah, they had 2... like, their game 1 draw was fantastic, and mine was okay, but couldn't stand up to that. What, were you gonna frickin' play Kuldotha Rebirth 2? Because it doesn't matter. They almost for sure have enough burn in hand to kill me. Like, it's not going to take much to kill me from here. Sure. Sure. If they're going to beat me, I'm going to make them work for it. Maybe they cut all the burn. Marshals are okay. It depends a lot on the metagame. Why are you playing that? Wouldn't you... Mm-hmm. This has been a very frustrating loss. I'm dead. Just hasn't caught up yet. Yep. Well, that was a non-game. That was a non-match. Let's try again. Like, I understand that just happens, but it never feels good when it does. Yeah, about marshals, signets are really important because they let you get to your haymakers faster. Things like Thorn and Justice. It's just that game. I just did not draw the lands. This hand is better. Let's keep this. Again! Unless they're the metal white deck. Boy, I'm really, everyone's on Kuldotha today. Well, that's good against them, at the very least. Sure. Okay, I'm actually in pretty good shape here because they're moving rather slowly. Let's read the bones. Find some lands. Chuck you, because I can get you back and give my thing haste later. Sure, that's fine. If I draw an untapped land, I can kind of just take away everything of theirs. Let's do this. Let's play out the Signet. Take this out. Gain some life. Yeah, turn 3 Thorn is great. Let's get this board clear. Now let's start drawing some cards. This is exactly what the deck wants to do. It wants to start drawing into removal. That's fine. Once you start drawing into removal, things go pretty quickly. Let's see. I'm at a fairly healthy life total, so I think it's safe to Rager here, get another threat on the board. And next turn I can Skyfisher back the Crossroads. So, do I bring in Leave No Trace? That feels pretty good. Leave No Trace feels pretty good here. Okay. Font maybe not as good in this matchup if they're just on mono enchantment removal. But I'll take the free win. I'll take the easy win against an opponent with mana issues. Let's see what they discard. Oh, nothing. See, this is the thing. In a deck like that, when you are having mana troubles, you're kind of at the whim of the top of your deck in a less than ideal way. What do they discard this time? Inspector. See, when this deck works, it works wonderfully. I mean, granted, my opponent did not have the best draw. Okay. So we're actually going to sideboard similarly this time, as we did last time. In a similar manner. You are still good. Edicts less so. And the reason edicts are less good is because of the token generators. How aggressive do I think they are? They're more ground-based. Think I want a nausea over there. Kind of like this. Let's see how this version works out. So, are you all planning on... Oh, this is a great opener. Are you all planning on playing in the challenges? And they went to 5. You know what? That happened to me. Did they scratch top or bottom? I wish I had sympathy, but I don't. I mean, I have sympathy for anyone who has those issues. They scried bottom. Okay. But I had it happen to me, and not that I want to, do a neener, but neener. Sorry. Not a nice person all the time. What do you think you're going to play in the challenges? Yeah, unless I do something... say something inappropriate, I will upload the VOD. That's usually my standard. I will not upload the VOD if I say something I regret or say something grossly inappropriate. Let's return this land, the tapped one, to my hand. Because I don't want to risk running out Thorn like this. Yeah. Oh, wait. That's 5. So if I can actually get to 6, that'd be just gross. Because if I get to 6, what I can do is Justice and Justice and Electrickery in one turn, which would just be, could be devastating. Sure. That's fine. I really don't want to play out Thorn right now because it's such a losing proposition. I'm willing to make this trade. Oh, this just ended up so beautifully for me. I thought I was willing to make that trade, but now I get a 5-for-1? An untapped land of any sort is great next turn. Sure. Because an untapped land of any sort will let me Justice and then Firebolt. Let me just Firebolt this now. Now, my hope is that they go for Battle Screech here. That's fine. Okay, like a 3-for-1. This is going to be a 3-for-1 as well. Actually, this is more like a 3-for-0. Okay, I'll take that. We're 1-1. Not the best start in the world, but considering how game 1 went, match 1 went, pretty happy. So, what are people thinking of playing in the buyback is totally fair. I mean, all that being said, my opponent did have bad luck. They had a mulligan to 5. They weren't able to establish their threats. Their game didn't go according to plan. And if you watched game 1, match 1, you saw the same thing happen to me. Variance is a fickle thing in the universe. It was the same deck. It was a more aggressive version of the same deck. It had Alchemist's Vial and Palace Sentinels. So it was a little more roguish. Yeah, round 1 saw me get kind of overrun. So what does that look like? No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but what are you doing between Augur of Bolas and Gurmag Angler? What happens between turns 2 and 5, let's say? Because I don't think those are bad cards. Those are both good cards. They both do good things. But it feels a lot like... Because the thing with Augur of Bolas is that it kind of pulls in the opposite direction from one of the best blue cards in Muldrifter. Because when you run Muldrifter, it tends to be the best card in your deck. But when you're running Augur of Bolas, you kind of have to bypass Muldrifter if you see it in your top 3. I learned that from when I was running the Bant deck with Augur of Bolas, and that is an interesting tension. So I'm just wondering what the rest of the deck looks like. I think that Muldrifter decks are... Let me rephrase that. I think fair Muldrifter decks, ones that are trying to cast Muldrifter honestly, are going to be a little overmatched in the first couple challenges. I think Burning Tree Emissary has pushed decks that naturally get to 5 to the fringes of the metagame. Now, that being said, Dimir Flicker is still a very popular deck, but what you see is, I think the best decks for Muldrifter are the Tron decks. whether that be Dinrovatron or Regulartron or Marasatron. I think those two are inextricably linked this time around. This is a good keep. 2 removal spells, lands, some card draw, well, card filtering in the form of Barons, have all my colors. They're mulliganing. Are they on the play? They topped. And they're on the play. I've recognized his name, but I can't put them on a deck. How many anglers are you running? Okay. So turn 1 swamp could mean one of 3 decks. It could mean mono black or some variant, UB Delver, or Flicker. Are they on Aristocrats or Marasa Black? Interesting. We'll find out soon enough. Maybe they're on Marasa Black? Those are some nice lands, I'll say that. Okay, so they're on some kind of green-black rampy deck. Are they on this... The name looks so familiar. Black, black, red. Let's get black. Let's see what they run out. This might be Marasa Black, which is a mono-black control deck. I don't think they're on Tordex. Tordex would not want to play Sakura Elder first. I love the challenges. Oh, maybe they are on Tordex. They are. You're right. They're on Tordex. I love, 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 love the challenges. I'm very excited about them. I cannot wait to have one that I can play in. If you want to thank the person behind them, I believe Lee's in the chat. Just say thank you to Lee. He will no doubt tell you how many times I've pestered him about that. That was a mistake. I probably should have used a Flame Slash, because this might get into a point where I need to burn out my opponent. Yep, there's the Tordex. We're in for a grind, folks. We're in for a grind. And I believe John, the Tortured Existence Master, is here as well. That's fine. What did they discard? Brown Scale. Fine by me. Spore Frog. Fine. So the goal here is going to be to save all my, what's it called? I have them, Core Skyfishers, for when I have a Bajuka Bog in play. Maybe we will. That did go 5-0 recently. I do like horror in general. Sure. I mean, I can play this game fairly well as well. Like, I can play this waiting game. My removal is largely useless here, which is kind of funny. Because they got back Ravenous Rats, let's just get this out of the way now. Now they almost for sure have a what's it called? They almost for sure have a, yes, I'm on Mardu. If I play in the leagues, I'll probably, in the challenges, I'll probably also be on Mardu. They for sure, almost for sure have a, what's it called? A Thorn of the Black Rose. There's no point in blocking here. I'm not at a high enough life total, a low enough life total where that matters. And I get it back anyway. And funny, Mardu may run vehicles. Sure. A 3/3 is actually pretty good against this deck. So my magma sprays are really important here. As are my justices. But my regular removal cards, not so much. They can just gain infinite life now. But they still need a way to win the game. I'm sorry, this one's going to be a little boring. I have a good matchup against Tortured Existence decks. They just take a long time to beat. And Mardu only runs vehicles in Standard. This is the kind of matchup where you really want an Ulamog's Crusher. So what's going to be important is when they do play a Thorn is to take out their Spore Frog end of turn so I can get it back, basically. So I can take the Monarchy. No, they might have Crypt Rats here. I don't really think... Don't really think that's necessary at this point. I think that's way too expensive for the effect. And it wouldn't really matter. Tortured Existence decks, my guess is they have a couple copies of Tortured Existence in hand as well. If I had to take a guess. As foretold, Crypt Rats. Now this is where things start to get a little dicey. Okay. See what they do here. Okay. I mean, what I really need to do here is draw Justice. That'd be great. I don't think they can really stop a Justice. Crypt Rats is going to put a real crimp in those plans. They can just do that every turn. Yeah, no, I think they might have this one. No, Arrogant Worm, okay. They're the aggro existence deck. Let's get this out of there now. Not what I wanted to see. This is unfortunate. What'd they get back? Arrogant Worm, sure. Yeah, this deck actually seems a lot better than I gave it credit for. Again, I think my hand was matched up a little poorly, but I'm not too concerned. The thing is, they have no real removal besides Crypt Rats. Sure. Well, this is just turning into a laugher. Grim Harvest would be pretty good here. Well, I don't have Grim Harvest in the main, so... Let's see what happens here. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Not sure what they're doing. Okay. That's what they're doing. What are they getting back? Brown Scale. Okay. They're buffing their life. Yeah, I think I just... Let's see. I kill Crypt Rats. They get it back. I block. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 13. Most they could do is another swamp, which is 14. So I block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, I actually have to kill Crypt Rats here. Because if they rip a swamp, it's basically game over. This, at the very least, buys me potentially time. at the same time, now they can get that Crypt Rats, or do that. Yeah. Huh. Too little, too late. See if they go for it twice. I mean, not much I really could have done there. I'm not sure anything I would have done would have mattered. Took him a long time to beat me. That's got to count for something. Okay, removal's terrible here. So I want to go threat dense. Oblivion Ring is still good. So are you. Terminate is fine. Read the Bones, not so much. Grim Harvest is going to be massive. Leave No Trace might look interesting, but it's probably terrible. So let's see. Gonna commit some cardinal sins here. I think Chainer's Edict is actually terrible here. Also think Lightning Bolt is bad. It doesn't kill any of their real threats. Yeah, actually, I think this is what I have to run with, and hope I get a better draw. Because that was painful. Is John watching? John, 8686, are you here? You are, I think. Oh, you're not. Okay, this is actually good, because I have Magma Spray. I have all my colors in my opener. I have everything I want. It's fine. What are they taking? They're really the toolbox version. What do they take? Krosan Tusker. Okay. Let's read the bones. No, I believe that having one bog main is enough, actually. One bog with 3 Skyfishers is plenty of graveyard hate. In my opinion. So they're going to cycle this. Great. I can actually use that Ash Barrens at their end step to start doing stuff. Now that I actually have a way to gain, get my stuff back. Swamp, sure. Yeah, I feel a lot more confident about this now that I have Grim Harvest, Font of Return, so I can regrow my creatures. It's fine. We all knew that was coming. So we're going to have to play this a little delicately. It's fine. I have Harvest in hand. That's really, like, not the worst they could do. And here comes Arrogant Worm. How do I want to do this? This is what I want to do. Let's cast this for black. Because then I can exile the rats for good. You just wasted a mana, sir. Still not great. I'm still a little far behind. It's fine. Interesting. Okay. I think I can build up a defense. Let's see what they vessel for. Oh, no, they're not vesseling. They're doing that. Fine by me. And they're getting back what? Croson Tusker. Okay. I tapped my mana wrong last turn. Prevent green damage this turn. Swamp, sure. Okay, let's start gaining life. Let's see what got revealed. What are they taking? Yep. Sure. Okay, we just drew Bog. Which takes away tons of their toys. So let's see what they do in response. Okay, they brought back Grave Scrabbler. Discarding Imp. No, they've discarded Grave Scrabbler. Doing what? Targeting... Okay, they put the Mana's ability on the stack. They don't know I have Justice in hand, though. Targeting Krosan Tusker, okay. And Arrogant Worm. Sure. Okay. So they have Krosan Tusker, Arrogant Worm, and some other goodies in hand. But I actually think I'm okay. Okay, that's fine. Swamp. Okay. It's Magma Spray? Let's get back Rager. If they have, what's it called? Macabre, that's bad for me, but... That was also a bad play on my part. Interesting, they did not discard Worm. I think I just punted. Yeah, by allowing justice to kind of just go by the wayside, I think I just punted. Not justice, I mean, they're not so far ahead yet that I cannot win, is the thing. Like, there's still a lot of work they need to do, even though I made that huge, huge punt. Sure. I definitely punted this game, which is annoying. And I'm not attacking because attacking is terrible here. Because I basically need to block to stay alive. Yeah, see? I can afford to take this hit. I don't want to, but I can. That was such a bad punt. Not happy about it. That's also terrible. Okay, what can I draw that will do well for me here? That's kind of okay. Buys me the all-important time. If I manage to survive, yes, that is a distinct possibility. But a lot needs to go right for that to happen. I basically need to draw the right sequence of removal spells and reactionary spells. And that's going to be really challenging since I put myself so far behind by wasting a Grim Harvest when I did not have the mana to waste it. Which, again, is completely and utterly my fault. Because my guess is they're holding Crypt Rats right now. Yeah, this is what ends up happening. If they're holding Crypt Rats, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just dead. Ah, that punt was so bad. Not happy. Because, yeah, if it's Crypt Rats, I'm basically dead. Because they can play it for 7. And there's Angler, too. I mean, really. I need Fogs. Bad. Yeah. It's not the worst. In that it gives me a ton of bodies right now. But again, Crypt Rats equals death. And again, the chance of them having Crypt Rats is extremely high. Okay, what'd they reveal? Like I said, Crypt Rats. They just need to cast it. Yeah, I'm dead. That's so frustrating. So frustrating. Yep. Let's not forget that I draw precisely 1 Read the Bones that game, and I punted, and yeah, not happy. I'll be right back. So yeah, we can identify where I lost that game, and actually that match. If I don't try to return the thing when they have an active Fume Spitter with Grim Harvest, I basically can just dominate that game, but because I just was not paying attention, it's a thing that happens when you switch decks with me anyway, is that I don't get the same feel and I don't have the same innate understanding, which is something to be said for sticking with one deck. That being said, I thought people were tired of watching me play Mardu, but I think it's a good thing for the upcoming, for the upcoming challenges, so wanted to play it again. So let's try to rally, get 2 more wins, earn back our entry fee. What do you say? Come on. If I earn back the entry fee, I'll sell the treasure chest and play, what's it called? I'll play something from, play something in the two-person queues. Ah, come on, deck. Okay, I'll keep this. Slip with this hand is not... It's good, but I don't necessarily want it right away, so let's just start like this. I'd rather see action on the top. That's some action. Let's land. Let's see what they get. This will go a long way towards telling me what we're up against. And we're up against Scred Delver. Okay. Not the worst matchup in the world. Fine by me. Let's actually edict here. We basically do not want them to get out ahead, and with justice, access to justice, it's going to be very hard for them to do that. Sure. Let's bolt them on upkeep. I want to bolt them on upkeep because I think they might have Spell Stutter in hand, which would mean I get to waste their entire turn if they go to Spell Stutter this. Oh, that doesn't actually matter. That was a dumb play, Alex. Trigger still goes on the stack. Well, I get to Wrath them. Oh god, I'm playing really poorly today. Well, that makes the decision even easier. And makes this one easy too. I mean, if they counter this, that's fine. There's really not much else I can do. I have to start trying to deploy threats, and they don't counter it. Interesting. Land would be perfect here. Not a land. Do they gush here? What are they doing? Both of these cards are pretty good for me, actually. I wanted the land, and Arc Lightning can just handle so many of their threats at once. So yeah, we'll keep that around. Wow, they're getting aggressive. Yeah, I think I'm just going to ride this for a little while. I want to try and deploy 2 threats in a turn. I mean, they should have a counter for this now. Oh, they have a Scred. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so they're flooded. And I'm flooded. They're flooded on islands. I'm flooded on skyfishers. There we go. If this little goblin goes all the way, I will be impressed. So let's try to gain some life, see if they counter it. Okay, I'm very confused by what's going on. Sure. I've not understood their play lines this deck. Now, granted, I was incredibly lucky to get Double Justice. A Pauper Challenge are these events they're now hosting on Magic Online. They are going to be 6 to 8, maybe even more rounds of events, and they're giant tournaments basically. I don't know how else to describe them really. You have to play it all at once. You can't split up the matches. Okay, let's see him spread this one. Sure. Show me the counterspell, please. The prizes seem pretty good. I don't know them off the top of my head. If someone's watching, could you share the prize structure? I remember it being pretty good. I mean, but if you enjoy playing the format, what's the big deal about prize structure? Okay, let's see, what do I want? I definitely want Terminate. You seem great. Pyroblast, also good. Electrickery seems fine. Nausea seems actually fine. Mostly because they have blasts. Let's see. How much pressure am I going to be under? I'm on the draw, so I can cut a Signet. Cut a Cleric. I think I cut a Thorn here, because that just seems very dangerous. Font is worse than Harvest in this matchup. And, let's cut a Flame Slash, because their threats are mostly small. Yeah, it is 25 tickets to enter, but the challenges, yeah, are pretty good. Oh, we're keeping this. This hand is excellent. I mean, provided they don't just blind flip Delver, we're in good shape. And they pondered, which is pretty solid. What are they doing with Ponder? Did not shuffle. Okay. Pretty important that they did not shuffle. Ponder into Brainstorm is interesting. Still not thrilled about that punt. They are taking some interesting lines this game. I think they really should be trying to be a little more aggressive, in my opinion. But that's just me. Let's counter this. I don't want them digging for anything. Sure, you can preordain. Bottom top, okay. Well, that's basically exactly what we wanted to see. Because now if they draw, what's it called? Stormbound Geist? Well, why can't you afford it? Do you just not have the 25 ticks to spare? Or is it just something you don't really feel like participating? Which is fine, I'm just wondering. Bolt. Okay. So we know they have Bolt in hand. Let's read the bones. Let's put Justice on the bottom for now and Basilica on top. So let's see. What do you mean it will largely go to waste? I'm not quite sure what you're saying here, honestly. I'm not trying to be... Well, yes, but the prize payouts are also higher. So I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Let's bolt this. I'm okay taking this hit. Like, they'll get in one hit. They traded a good card for it. I can play Cleric next turn. Sure, if you have, but you can also have a bad day in a league and be out everything as well. I mean, that's kind of just the nature of Magic. Again, that's kind of the nature of Magic. I apologize. I'm really not following the logic here. I tapped that really poorly. Let's terminate here. Yes. A league is definitely 1/3 the cost. But if you're just worried about price comparison, yes, a league is absolutely going to give you a little bit better value. But I would say that if you care about Pauper as a format a little bit more, this is going to be a place to try out things. And if you get a loss, you're not automatically eliminated from the top 8 contention like you are in the league. If you take a loss in the league, the payout is so much worse than if you hadn't taken a loss. So I think that overvaluing the I don't know how to say it, but wow, main phase Gush for okay. They have Island in hand. I think overvaluing the ability to take a loss and still be okay, I think that's being undervalued here. They have counter now. Okay. That's important to know. What are they discarding? Like, if you don't want to participate in it, that's fine. I won't fault anyone for that. But I think that this is not a bad style of tournament. Let's see what I can do here. Will this earn a counter? It will not. Interesting. Let's replay the Signet then. Huh, that was interesting. So that probably means they have Scred in hand. Or Lightning Bolt or something. So here's the thing, they're at a significant advantage right now. Because they can just kill my thing with impunity. Like that. And now I'm behind. But I'm not under a ton of life pressure yet, which is nice. Let's actually Magma Spray this, because I want to try and waste their counter so I can get back Skyfisher with Pilfers, and then start chaining that. That's even better, actually. Okay. That was a blowout of epic proportions. And what are they going to do with this? Bottom. Three of the bones. That's a good hand. With a Grim Harvest online, it's hard for any blue control deck to beat you. So, let's talk about that. The accessibility of Pauper. Because I think it's a big thing. I think that Pauper, regardless of that, is still a very accessible format. I can understand if you're on a budget and the 8-ticket cost of a league is more acceptable. They shuffled. That is absolutely fine. I'm not saying that there's a right or a wrong way around this. What I am saying is that it is great that Pauper has these challenges. And I think that, while Pauper is the budget format, it cannot just be the budget format, or else it won't survive. It can't survive if it's just the budget format. It is dangerous. No, most decks cost more than... Most decks are fairly, what I would say... They can be up there. I think most competitive decks at least, are probably in the 30 range, at least, sometimes more. I mean, you can do a price check on decks, but yeah, most of the time they're going to be more than 25 ticks, if you're talking about competitive decks. If you just want to play whatever in the leagues, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you. But to say that this is out of the reach of many people, I think that's a little disingenuous. I also don't think Pauper is actually the most attractive format for new people. I think that standard is actually a lot more accessible. Now, maybe not price-wise, but for new players, I think limited, anything like that. I think Pauper's a great format. Don't get me wrong. I love Pauper. I live Pauper, basically. But there's other stuff going on. So one thing you shouldn't do when you're playing a Delver deck is play out all your lands. I know at most they have 3 business spells. 2 business spells. 1 business spell. Let's see what I draw. Wow, that's aggressive. Okay, they drew Scred. Let's start grinding value. So if they counter this, that isn't the worst thing in the world. They may very well counter it. Sure, that is fine. I now know you have no business in hand. Okay, so now when the Riftwatcher dies, I get to trigger my Grim Harvest. Gain some life. Tragic Slip. Let's just see if I can get everything out of the way. Now this time, I'm not going to waste my Grim Harvest with a creature on the board. Especially since I know they have Scred in hand. And Counterspell now. But now I can spend it. You can see how good Grim Harvest is when you can just grind a value out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, not spending it yet. Now see here, they can counter it, but eventually I'm just going to get it back anyway. Again, thanks to Grim Harvest. Okay. I mean, eventually they're going to have to do something. Sure. Sure. I mean, they're not going to be able to deal me 25 in a single turn, especially since they spent 2 lightning bolts. Why did I choose that name? I chose it because I liked it. I thought it was a fun name for a blog, and so I kept it way back in the day. I play a lot of Magic. That's about it. Read a lot of sci-fi books. I mean, just kind of self-identify as one. You know, I started a blog back in the day when I was in grad school called Nerd to the Core. I listened to a lot of punk music, still do. Yes, I used to play World of Warcraft. Didn't like it that much. Found it to be a little collectory, kind of like do this task, then do this task. Fave sci-fi what? Movie, book? My favorite science fiction book of all time is Dune by Frank Herbert. It's amazing. Movie, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but that's not really sci-fi as much as space opera. But I love it nonetheless. Let's see, they're preordaining. Bottom. Top. Yeah, like science fiction movie of all time. If I want to go like just like straight sci-fi, it might be The Fifth Element, but even then, that's a little space opera. And the one I'll probably say is Pacific Rim. I love Pacific Rim. One of my favorite movies from the past 10 years. I mean, let's have them counter this. No, they probably have a Sprite. Yeah. No, I don't think anything makes anyone automatically a nerd. It's just something you have to kind of take on yourself. If you choose, like you said, I feel sometimes like a nerd. I was kind of just a nerdy kid, and so that's just how I choose to identify. Okay, gosh, sure. Like, it's something, I don't know. I don't know how to really put it any other way. I have a mana abundance, so actually let's wait to see if I can draw something else they'll have to counter. Like that. So no, I don't think reading Dune automatically makes anyone a nerd, but I think that there are certain things. I mean, do other people in the chat want to sound off on this? Because I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really sure how to answer these questions. I feel like when I was in high school, I was a little bit of an outcast, a little bit of a weirdo. I definitely felt nerdy. Now, you know, I still like the same things. I still like superhero movies, still read some comic books. Play way too much Magic, but it's something I enjoy. It was a fun handle to have on the internet, so I kept it. So, my opponent has to attack. 4, 5. They have a decent clock, but I'm not sure it's enough to like actually win the game, or rather the match in time. They didn't shuffle. Okay. Played an island. What do they do now? They have the scred. How many counters have they spent? 1, 2, 3. Sure. Okay. So at most they have 1 counter left, and how many sprites? Well, that's a pretty good thing. Yep. They can just kill me next turn if I don't draw Justice or something. Oh, maybe not next turn. Let's try this. They almost for sure have a count. Here come. Here comes the counter? Okay, I'm completely befuddled. %100 befuddled by this line of play. Okay, there's Stormbound Geist. Showing up a little late. Okay. So my guess is that's another. I mean, I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/nerdtothecore. It's not hard to find out what I do, but my question is why? I think Angler Delver is an interestingly positioned deck. It's tough. I think it has a tough matchup with Stompy. Because it can go wide early, and if you're not prepared for that, it's really tough. I think it can be tuned correctly, but I also believe that you're very threat light. Even if you go with the more threat dense version with scavengers and other things, I think you're very threat light with that deck. With blue-black Angler Delver. Okay, now I can start attacking with, Angler. I mean, I'm not... that's fine. I'm from New York. Born and raised. Work at a college. If you Google me, it's not all that hard to find out anything about me. I write for GatheringMagic.com as a associate editor. And yeah, been playing Magic for God knows how many years. A long, long, long time. Playing Magic since The Dark came out? I know, New York. Okay, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. It's also my home. So, maybe you, not the smartest thing to say to me. Because I am from there. And, glad you think we're all rude. Where are you from? See what they do here. Okay, they're all in on flipping these Delvers and winning through the air. Okay. Question is, can they beat me in so few turns? The answer is probably. But then I don't know if they'll... This is actually going to be the last match for the night. Wife's on her way home, and that's really about it. Okay, wait a second. 1, 2, 3... Yep, they got it. Took them to the last card, too. They played this well. I think they used up too much clock, but they played it well. Okay, they have 5 minutes to win. I think bottoming that Justice early was a mistake in hindsight. You seem good here. Over what? You get bricked easily. Just another way to close out the game. Yeah, Kadotha Tokens, Kadotha Boris is a good deck. I'm interested to see how it holds up after 5-6 rounds. I think that deck is good, but it has a lot of draws where it kind of falters with consistency issues. Namely, you have a lot of like kind of just air in the deck. I think that's a thing with a lot of Pauper decks. There's a lot of air. We're keeping this. It's actually a pretty good hand. Use this to get red. And we'll blow this up. It's a middle initial. Great draw there. Okay, let's see what they do. Preordain. And Spike Boy M comes from a long time ago. I used to post on Star Wars role-playing game message boards as Elf Boy M. I'm short and look young. Top. So Elf Boy I thought was a pretty fun moniker. But the M is a middle name. And Spike came from my love of studded belts as a college student. Actually has nothing to do with the magic term spike. They're playing faster now, which means they probably think they have the win. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Let's see what they do here. Shuffle. Brainstorm. So we might end up burning two of our better removal spells here in an effort to stay alive. Depends a lot on what they do. Okay, Ash Barrens for what? Island? Play island? Sure. Wow, okay. Augur getting what is the question? Bolt, fine. We know they have an island in hand. They just played it. Delver, and what else? Trying to bait out the, what's it called? Spellstutter Sprite here. It's fine. So they clearly have a ninja here. Or not. Let's see, what are they doing with this? They need to find island or land scred, and that's actually pretty bad. They went bottom. So here's the ninja. Delver. Okay, let's get a 2-for-1 out of this. Yep, still have 4 left. ponder. Not to shuffle. Okay. Scred, sure. Bolt, sure. Augur, ooh, okay. What are you auguring for? Bolt, fine by me. This deck doesn't usually run days. That's why. Let's get you out of the way. Clear the path. Gush, sure. Now they can't scred me. Ponder, sure. Not to shuffle, sure. Miscreant. Now they have Bolt in hand. Ninja, okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, that works. We are going to defend the house. Now they have Scred and Lightning Bolt. That's just going to be terrible. Wow, they have Scred and Lightning Bolt. Nope, they only have one. Augur getting what? Nothing. Whiff. Fine by me. Sure. And this game's basically over because they cannot deal me 16 points of damage in 53 seconds. They went bottom, bottom. I don't know what that was. I think it was just a mistake. Sure. This has not been a well-played match from either end. Wow, they might actually win if they flip. That'd be annoying. Great. Double bolt means I'm just dead here. This stream has not been great tonight. I apologize. Did not play well. Made some punts. That match was just not fun for anyone to watch. But you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/nerdtothecore, twitch.tv/nerdtothecore, facebook.com/nerdtothecore. My articles go live every Tuesday on gatheringmagic.com. Hopefully next week I'll write a introduction to what you should be running in the challenges. But for that, we're cutting out. Thanks for watching tonight, and I'll post the VOD soon.